Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, this is a sample that was sent to me by a viewer named Matt Warren. Hey Matt, thank you so much. You are super generous. But this is one that he picked out specifically because he's been watching my content and he thinks he's dialed in some clues about my palette and what I like, what my preferences are. So this was something that he hand selected for my palette, and I'm about to see if he made a good call or not. So I do not know what this is. He emailed me a key, which I will pull up after I try it. Perfect. 2 ounce pour, 2 ounce sample right up to the whitest part of the bulb, which is where you want it in a Glencairn. Okay, before I smell it though, I'm gonna roll it a bit. Give it a good roll in the glass. And let's see about viscosity. I think this, just looking at it, color and viscosity, oiliness on the glass. I don't know if you can see that. See how long? Ooh, those drips running, those runs running down the side of the glass. You can see some of those on your left side of the glass there, and then the coating around the top there. Look at that! Look at that! That's thick. I mean, it looks like honey in there, and it has a beautiful bronze color to it, almost like a brown that has a little bit of a red tint in it. You know, that bronze color. What a great color. On the nose alone, I can tell you there's some rye in the mash bill. I can tell you that right off the rip. It's packing some heat, but it also has those sweet yellow fruits that my mind always jumps to with rye in the mash. But I'm getting that one of my favorite notes is those circus peanut candies. And I'm definitely getting that here. A little bit of white peppercorn, a little spice to it, and maybe even like a rock candy sweetness to it as well. Let's try it. Well, one of the things that stands out to me immediately is the consistency of that pour. From start to finish. It doesn't take you down, up, steep inclines and down steep drops and go all over the place. That is just consistent all the way through to the finish. 100% get that circus peanut candy sweetness through it. A little bit of that white peppercorn kind of interspersed throughout it. I think that rock candy note is an apt description for the kind of sweetness that it is. It's not mapley or too caramely, right? It's more of like that rock candy sugary sweetness that is balanced out by a little bit of that white peppercorn, those spicy notes as well. And it is definitely, it coats the mouth quite well, that oiliness there, but then on the finish, it almost it dries out a little bit, almost like a tannic dryness, and it kind of, on the finish, reminds me of coffee grounds. But I tell you, that is a delectable drink. That is quite nice. It's consistent, but it also has a little bit of complexity to it. And there's some fantastic notes in there. And I really love the way that it looks, too, between the color and the viscosity. And there's almost that bitterness. I think that's what I'm attributing to the coffee grounds note. Like bitter cocoa almost kind of a taste. I definitely think it's a rye. But it's a rye that I think is mellowed out a bit. It's not super young. And I'm kind of conflicted here because the viscosity I'm seeing and a little bit of the heat on the nose made me think like a barrel proof, kind of a thing, or single barrel product. But it doesn't have a ton of heat in terms of alcohol content on the palate. I would guess high 90s, low 100s, but not like a barrel proof, like a 120, something like that. Let's find out what it is. Okay, this is Cream of Kentucky. Kentucky straight rye whiskey, bottled in bond. Okay, so it's 100 proof. Bottled in bond means 100 proof. Interesting. It says rye whiskey was something Rutledge had always wanted to do in his previous career, but had never had the opportunity. He'd also never released a bottled in bond whiskey before this release. Cream of Kentucky is not a common name that you hear, at least I don't. Do you? It's the J.W. Rutledge Distillery. It's interesting to read their own tasting notes because they say a lot of the things that I'm noting here are things that were noteworthy to them. Specifically the mellowness of the rye, the mouth feel. They say light and fruity on the nose. Yeah, I agree. They note black pepper. I said like a white peppercorn. They note anise on the palate. I can see where they're coming from on that. Not a lot of burn, very mellow, long finish. I agree. Hey, Matt, thanks for sharing that. That is delicious. I like that quite a bit. Yeah, I might have to keep an eye out for that bottle because that is quite a nice drink. That's something that I could definitely pour. You know, a lot of my nights I come down here to my office at about 11 o'clock when my wife goes to bed. And I usually knock out another hour to an hour and a half of work or some leisurely activity down here, whether it's watching a show I want to watch or doing some gaming. I feel like this would be a perfect pour for those nights. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you, brother. Hey, if you are interested in sending me a sample as well, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. Thank you so much to my patrons. I really appreciate you and the support that you guys give because I use the Patreon money to actually fund bottles that I pick up for reviewing purposes. So I really appreciate that as well. Hey, cheers! May you live richly, my friends, and get better with age. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.